Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cathedral of Velvet podcast. I am your host, as always, Parajusho, and today it is gonna be a a full on course meal of an episode today. But we got a special guest today, so if you can, please introduce yourself.
I will. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Drew Kocher. I'm a professional voice actor of 6 years. Good friend of our host here, and I know absolutely nothing about the subject matter of this podcast, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more today.
Yes. So for today's episode, uh, firstly, we're gonna be covering over some news that came over this past weekend. We did cover a little bit on Thursday, Thursday with my friend Air. So over this past weekend, was the Xbox showcase. That was the main big thing. Did you watch the Xbox showcase at all?
Nope. I'm been busy with the new job, so enlighten me.
All right, so Xbox showcase. It was I personally thought it was very good, even though don't have an Xbox. It was a pretty good showcase.
Okay.
Well, like Alice made a hit on Xbox because
Okay.
surprise, Microsoft slash Xbox bought a bunch of basically advertising marketing rights with Atlas, so they did a major hit with this reveals that we're gonna go over first.
Okay.
So let me just switch over here. And the last major reveal of the show was Metaphor Re Fantasio. So this game was announced like 7 years ago under like the name Project Re Fantasy. This was supposed to be Alice's like brand new IP that they're gonna try to bring alive, and they even started like a brand new studio to do this. So also everyone, all the articles and links that you're gonna see will also be in the description below. So if you guys want to check those out for yourself, please make sure you do. So this article, during the Xbox Game Showcase, Project Re Fantasy was fully revealed as Metaphor Re Fantasio. It was released in 2024 on the currently announced platforms Xbox Series XS and Windows PC. But people are obviously assuming that's going to be on PlayStation 5 as well, because obviously Microsoft bought the advertising, so they're not going to advertise PS5. From the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5, within the newest internal Alice studio called Studio Zero, with the director Katsura Hashino, the character designer is Shigenori Sojima, and the composer is Shoji Meguro. So here's the visual description. Metaphor Re Fantasio, with the 2024 expected release, from the creative minds of the Persona series. Metaphor Re Fantasio marks Alice's first ever full-scale fantasy RPG, brought to you by the director Hashino, designer Sojima, and composer Meguro. Write your destiny and rise above fear as you step into a fantasy world unlike anything you've seen before. Fraught with unsettling mystery, the kingdom stands on a precipice. Now you must embark on a journey overcoming obstacles and forging bonds with your friends. Now this was like the major thing that got me during that showcase. Like, nobody was expecting this. People thought this game was dead. With how
after at least 7 years of nothing, I would assume.
Yeah, just like the last thing we got from, at least word about it, was like 2021 when they said like it was in a Famitsu article or something like that, where they had, well, each company gives their own little blurb about, hey, what to expect for the future. And last thing we heard about was in 2021, and it was like, hey, this game's still in the works, but we hope to have something out soon, and nothing about that. But well, let's play the trailer just so you can see, and the audience as well. You can see this, right?
Yes, I can. I can hear it too.
All right, good. Make sure it's just not too loud. Make sure the quality's good. Get that 4K version.
Yeah.
If not, let's just do
The
1080.
1080, yeah, there we go.
On. Work.
覚えてるか。
国民の信託を最も集めし者が次なる王となる資格を得るものとする。陛下のお命が奪われるなど。
Oops. Buffering on us.
汝定めを課せられし子よ、憂いを抱える旅人よ。
こいつが俺の凱旋者だ。
果たして誰が次の王か。
己自身に命じなさい。内なる英雄の姿に変われと。
真の王を志すならば打ち勝ってみせよ。
僕のいる世界の出来事は君にとっては絵空事。
まさか人間？
この国は今有史以来の危機にさらされている。どうやら面白
I'm
い
just
力
like
を手にしたよ
in
うだ。
shock. I
主
mean,
君に捧げる
still
と決
in
めた。
awe after like
覚悟その
all
ものだ。
this time.
これこそ人間の真実だ。
道は二つに一つ。
またあった
Correct
ね。
me if I'm wrong.
や
So
はり君は
I
興
say I
味
know
深い。
nothing, but I do know some things. And that is, so is this their first, like, kind of fantasy title? Because at least from Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, from what I've seen, that stuff is, like, more or less, like, you know, modern times, so to speak.
Yes, I would think so. Well, with this studio, because they have like well, they have different developers doing different things. So I think with with this kind of developers, they're doing like this first fantasy kind of thing.
Gotcha, okay. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. And definitely with those with those cutscenes in there, I can tell that they're probably trying to be really ambitious about this, and if they can pull their cards right, they're gonna make this into a show just like Persona.
Oh, if that happens out, that's gonna be it's gonna be a mixed bag depending on how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah,
And what makes you say that? It's from someone who doesn't have the background for why you would say something like that. Why would you say that?
Because with the anime, it can either be really great or it can be really bad. So
Is there a precedent of that with other like Atlas titles like Persona or Shin Megami Tensei?
yeah, so the latest anime was Persona 5, the anime,
Okay.
and it really like left a sour tone in like the man's mouth because
Okay.
there was just like the voice acting is great, but just the animation wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of like rush animation. Like it didn't even look like it was from the game. Like off model sometimes. So it was just like, yeah. But then there's like the movies. Like there was
Okay.
for Persona 3. It was really great. Really great. It
Okay.
looks absolutely fantastic.
All
So
right.
it really, because like with each of the animes they had, each were made by different studios.
Oh,
so-
okay. I wasn't even aware of that. Okay.
Yeah, so I believe the Persona 5 one, I think it's done by A1.
Okay.
The Persona 3 movie was done by Aniplex, so that's
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Reputation precedes themselves.
And then there's the Persona 4 anime, which it had two actual anime series. The original
Okay.
one, which I believe wait, I gotta look that one up.
Okay.
Because like it was a good anime. It was hilarious. Because
Yeah.
it was, if they made it like, because the protagonist silent and all, they just made him like an absolute Chad in the anime.
Oh. That's funny.
And then there's the second anime, which is based off basically the expansion version, Persona 4
Okay.
Golden.
Oh, okay.
and it was a bit iffy because it's mainly focusing on the expanded portions of the game. So just
Okay.
like, and people don't really like the that portion because of a certain character in it. So
Gotcha. Okay. Another thing. So I know of Persona 4 because by proxy of a very good friend of mine and yours, Aaron. So,
yep.
since for those who don't know, although I'm guessing if you're tuning into a Persona podcast, you probably do. Aaron Fitzgerald is the English voice of Chie Satonaka in Persona 4. Um, so I'm not privy to what the difference is between Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. Is it literally just one has like more cutscenes and a little bit of extended story, and that's the only difference between the original?
Okay, so Persona 4, that was like the base version.
Gotcha.
Initially came out with PS2, and it was
Okay.
very well received. That's where like the Persona hype started to climb up.
Okay.
With Golden, came out on the Vita,
Mm-hmm.
they decided to, hey, let's try to expand on some parts of the story, like give some uh well, add an extra character that wasn't in the original,
Okay.
and that'll add an extra dungeon to it, but also like rework some of the gameplay aspects,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and like add some more quality life features as was in before. And that was basically like, yo, this is the best Persona game ever at the time. Just like everyone needs to play. That's why it was like basically people got the Vita for the Persona 4 Golden. That was
Okay.
it.
Okay. So it's basically just like Persona 4 was where they really started to take off, got a lot of notoriety, and at that point in time, they had a large influx of customers, so they probably got more money, and it was kind of a whole, Neon Genesis Evangelion versus the Rebuild series. Like, we have money now, here's the really good thing we wanted to make.
Yeah, so like after that, like more a lot of people were considered milking at this point because after like Golden, there's just
Mm-hmm.
more Persona 4 stuff coming out. There was
Oh, okay.
Arena, uh,
Yep.
Arena
The one and
Ultimax.
only game that I have, actually. Well, technically, I own Persona 4 Golden. I've just never touched it. But I remember I got Arena back when it came out because I saw it at my local anime convention, and I was like, wow, it looks like anime like fighting game. I'm not even good at fighting games, and I just want to play this.
Yeah, it's like people are loving this Persona. Let's bring out as many as possible. It might be good, might be
Hmm.
bad, but yeah, like after that, like there was the Arena, then the sequel to it, Arena Ultimax,
Hmm.
Persona Q, which was a
Okay.
crossover between Persona 3 and 4, which was
Okay.
like, well, Persona Arena 4 Arena was also that too, but just like even more because all the characters from 3 was in it. And
Okay.
then the dancing game, which was, it was a pretty good dancing game, pretty good story to
Okay.
it too.
Is it basically just like a rhythm game with like customizable outfits? Is that what it is at its base, basically?
Yeah, like Project Diva, Hatsune Miku.
Okay. Yep. Similar to that. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And funny enough, it was initially developed by like that team, but then I was like,
Oh.
but then I was like, we're gonna take it from here.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it was like they could have handled it, but like, oh, okay, it still turned out good.
Well, if there's one thing I do know, at least from folks who like the franchise that are in my circle of things, I have learned one thing, and that is Atlas is fairly heavy-handed in terms of their properties. They like to keep a good, firm grip on their stuff, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but as of more recently, they've been able to like, hey, we'll let you try this and see if it works out. We'll
Okay.
get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
So back to Metaphor. They've Alice puts out a bunch of screenshots, and it just looks amazing. Like the detail of like what they're putting into this game is just like fantastic. And a lot of people notice like, oh, this seems more like Persona than, because there's just the calendar cycles in here as well,
Mm-hmm.
and the demons they kind of put out kind of seems a lot like just the personas they summon. So just like
Yeah.
we were like, is this just Persona adjacent?
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like it is made by the same or like the creators of the series. It's like, why
Right.
not? But like what this game has, is just like the UI is just like absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just like the art is wild.
Right. It's very stylized and dynamic.
Yeah, the like this menu right here. It's just like, dang, look at that.
And that's just the pause menu.
Yes,
Wow.
that is just amazing. And
Yeah.
then we have the key visual here, which is just like, dang.
Okay. I can see where they're coming from of being like, yeah, this looks like just like fantasy reskin Persona in a way, because even like up there, I'm not sure what it is, but the thing at the top looks very similar to at least one of the Personas I've seen. Like, the face kind of looks like Yu's, if I remember correctly.
What the main character here or the
The up
oh
there, yeah. It
Ooh,
looks like Yu's Persona just a little bit to me. But again, this is
yeah,
coming
yeah,
from someone who's not too familiar with the franchise.
yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, looks absolutely amazing. They did a great job with like that key artwork. Just absolutely amazing. And then let's see here. Says here that they're gonna be having a little stream talking about the upcoming release, and then there's a
Okay.
little director's message from the director saying, "Greetings, RPG fans from all around the world. I'm Hashino. Metaphor is a fantasy RPG developed by the core development members of Persona 5. This is Alice's first attempt at a large-scale fantasy game. Thus, instead of following the classic approach, we're depicting fantasy world from our own perspective. Releasing 2024, please wait just a little while longer for this new journey to begin."
Now they've used that word a couple of times here, and maybe you'll be able to enlighten me just a little bit more. But what do they mean by large scale? Do they mean like more open world?
Yeah, I would presume so because the closest thing we have to like open world in terms of like an Alice JRPG
Mm-hmm.
game would
Yeah.
be Shin Megami Tensei 5. But that
Okay.
would be like more like an open area sort of
Okay.
kind of thing. So I'm guessing like this.
So it's still linear, but it's large enough to give you that sense of being a pretty big world.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
I feel like this would be like kind of similar to that, but even bigger, perhaps.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But like with Persona 3 and 4, even 5, it's still very linear, but like the areas are kind of big, especially in Buff 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was just like this blew up the internet, like got trending, I think, for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
people are just glad that this is actually a thing. It's not dead.
Yeah. No, that's great, especially after 7 years.
Yeah. So like, what's your like overall thoughts on Metaphor from someone who's just kind of blind to basically this whole thing?
It, I, I'm interested to see more. I mean, right now it's cool and everything, and it's got the usual flashiness of Atlas's UIs and stuff like that, and all of that looks pretty and what have you. But I'd like to see what it looks like when it's a little bit more fleshed out to see how it really differentiates itself from at least what I know of what the other Persona games are like. Um, because I think, much like a lot of other people are probably speculating, that this could really take off since this is their first foray into a more, like truly classical kind of fantasy RPG world, so to speak, as opposed to the previous installments, which are just like, oh, it's an alternate dimension apart from normal day Japan. Um, so yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, like I believe saw some like people talking about some interesting notes like there's like classes that can be part of, like there's knights, fighters, seekers,
Mm-hmm.
I think mages are a part of it as well, so things like you
Oh,
can.
okay. So they've got a bunch of different classes. That's nice. Now, is that something that's ever presented itself in the previous installments at all, or was it just more or less like, oh, this person has this persona that's a little bit more specialized at this, whereas this one has this one.
Yeah, it's more of the latter. Like, each person's probably like, okay, you're more of a healer, you're more of a physical based guy, and
Mm-hmm.
while your main character can be just all around, you can go either way.
I'm wondering if, because I didn't see anything about them talking about it, but I'm wondering if you can. It's gonna be kind of that MMO RPG kind of feel where you can choose your classes and stuff. Like in that it's not locked into a specific character. It's something that you can kind of flip around if you would like to.
Yeah, I think I've seen like just from other people's like analysis, like multiple people had like different roles, so probably can like change depending on like what you want.
Okay, and then something else that's interesting me on that particular note is I'm wondering if that class is just designated to whichever character that you're using that does that, and so I'm. Do they basically have? So you brought something up like this. These characters have what is basically like a pseudo persona. They're like demon or what have you. Is that right?
Yeah, from what it looks like. So I think like from like the screenshot right here, I
Uh huh.
think that pseudo persona is called archetype. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, okay, okay. So an archetype. Okay. So what I'm really interested in is seeing if basically, um, like the demon and the person are their own separate entities in terms of their like class. Like it, if the demon's just an augmentation of what skills the person already has, or if it's just completely separate from it, so that you can really start to mix and match like what your playstyle is.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. Just like, yeah, I don't want you to be a knight anymore. I want you to be, the main heavy hitter or something like
Right.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they could go that route, but it's still like very early on that we of the information that we've got. So
Okay.
if anything, hey, could do that. Just like I just appreciate like this artwork. It's just like it just
Yeah, the
pops.
artwork is very, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's one thing like they've been doing recently, especially with like Persona 5. Like that menu, there's like it's stylized, and that's like how like oh wow, this is the most stylized game ever like released. That was like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
thing that was happening around Persona 5 releases.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so going from there, we're gonna go down a little bit. We got our spinoff for Persona 5, which
Okay.
is Persona 5 Tactica. So uh this was leaked, officially leaked by Alice on Thursday.
Okay.
So they accidentally uploaded then took it down, but they officially announced it yesterday.
Okay.
So, Persona 5 Tactica. During the Xbox Game Showcase, the new Persona 5 strategy spin off game called Persona 5 Tactica was officially announced after it was leaked earlier. It will be releasing November 17th for Xbox Game Pass, Series platforms, and Windows PC.
Okay.
And should be assume that it'll also be released on other platforms because Xbox bought the advertising.
Yeah. Right.
So, who is the mysterious girl who saved Joker and his allies? What is the deal she proposes for their cooperation in the revolution? Witness the thrilling revolution drama that the Phantom Thieves embark on. So, this is a spin-off of
Okay.
Persona 5. This is a very art style change.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's more chibi-like, but
Right.
not fully.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that because it differentiates itself from just cashing in on the usual chibi stuff.
Just gonna open all these tabs here just because the images aren't fully showing up. But yeah, this is a tactics style game, so like XCOM or Mario plus Rabbids.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, so these are the first game screenshots. Got a level up screen, I believe there should be, or after battle screen, perhaps.
Okay.
Okay. Of course, the stylized menu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Don't know what Q list is. I don't think that's been explained yet, but perhaps later on. They've got some in-game cutscene with it seems like one of our party members, Ryuji, but it
Mhm.
seems like he's a little evil at the moment. And they got 2D artwork going on. Okay, so
That's nice. That's really cool. I appreciate that.
we got Morgana on the left with on the right here.
Mhm.
And this is our new character. Let me
Okay.
just fix the where's that website screen? There we go.
Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar with most of the cast for 5 in terms of at least like their like models and what have you and their general kind of demeanor, but I've not seen this new character.
Yeah, seems like she is new just to this game. And
Oh,
it happens a lot with the Persona games. Oh, hey, here's this one character that'll probably only be in this game and never to return.
right. I get it. I get it in a way because like it's at least a common marketing tactic that I've seen amidst like anime and even like JRPGs where they'll throw a little obscure character in there and literally just to see if people will really latch onto them, and if they do, well, it's great. Better marketing.
And then like, oh hey, you're popular, come back again.
Right, we'll bring you in. We were just using you as kind of a sandbox character, but since people like you, we're gonna produce a ton of merch for you and make a whole new game with you in it.
Yep. And then one last screenshots, so more of the gameplay. I believe it looks like a tactics game, and I am not that I'm not I haven't really played much tactics games. Like
Neither have I.
the closest thing is like Fire Emblem Awakening was a lot of tactics that was
Gotcha.
non Alice. The other one is Devil Survivor, which is not like tactics like this, but it's more Fire Emblem based.
Gotcha.
So going back to the article here, let me just also fix the screen here. There we go. So, the story. Just before the graduation ceremony, on a snowy day at the Café LeBlanc, after school, the members of the Fam Thieves of Heart gather and chat when suddenly a supernatural phenomenon appears on TV, accompanied by a powerful tremor within the cafe. While everyone was confused, the door to LeBlanc emits an eerie light. With caution, they open the door, only to find themselves in an unfamiliar world they had never seen before. A mysterious realm reminiscent of medieval Europe. In this enigmatic world, a group of armed forces called the Legion mercilessly oppress the rule over the town and citizens. Joker and his comrades, labeled as rebels, are immediately surrounded by the Legion, facing a desperate situation. At that moment, a mysterious individual who introduces herself as the revolutionary leader L comes to their rescue, saving them from certain doom. The Fam Thieves find themselves caught in a predicament, and they reluctantly agree to deal proposed by L for their cooperation in the revolution. What awaits them in this revolution? Oh, we have some more screenshots. So it's all about revolution. Viva la revolution!
That's what it would seem.
And just opening more tabs. So it seems like this is more of a pre-rendered cutscene.
Okay, so there's their cafe.
And they just look so adorable.
I really do like this style. It's nice.
Yeah. And then more cutscenes with this. Seems like the villain for this round.
Yes.
Looks like someone who was left at the altar and then just became a queen.
Yeah.
And also, I do want to say congratulations on the marriage. I didn't say that before, but congratulations on the marriage.
Thank you very much. April 22nd, and we've been all over the place. Japan for 2 weeks, and living together for however long it's been since April 22nd.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, just like the range is like, I'm gonna make you my husband now.
Yeah. Now it does look like this is funny because it's so funny that you brought up that they're talking about all the revolution kind of stuff because I'm wondering if it has some themes based on like French Revolution because this character here, that little arrow kind of that she has there on the choker bit there, that's a fleur de lis, which is a French symbol. So I'm wondering if they're gonna be playing into like maybe some like themes harkening to that.
Yeah, in the trailer, I'm not sure if they even put the trailer in here. Well, we'll continue on, but there was a
Yeah,
area that is like seems like feudal Japan sort of era, like like 19th century Japan, like 1800s.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, a bunch of revolutionary eras we might be going to in this game.
Okay.
A little bit more screenshots. A door.
The door with the eerie light.
A news. More anime screenshots. And I guess that's the girl L.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
continuing on, basically they're giving some rundowns on the characters. If you guys don't know who these characters are after how many years the series has been going on.
I don't.
Well, hey, this is the protagonist, also
Okay.
known as Joker. No, he's a cool one, leader of the Fan Thieves of Hearts. So he's the leader of the group with his persona Arsene.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Definitely very Joker and charlatan-esque.
yeah, so like the theme with like Persona 5, like all the characters are basically like themed after like thieves or like
Okay.
yeah of history. So Arsene, Lupin,
Oh, okay.
and then we have Morgana, who is their talking cat mascot for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And his persona is Zoro.
Okay.
He is the magic of wind, sort of healer.
Right. Okay.
Then we have L here. So new character, the mysterious girl L appears and rescues Joker and his allies from the desperate situation. She can't stand idly by while people suffer unjustly, and tends to rush headlong into things without much thought. Despite her lack of attention to detail, her energetic and cheerful nature, coupled with her proactive attitude, earns her the trust of the Revolutionary Army, of which she is a leader. In order to overthrow the oppressive rulers and achieve a revolution in the city, she proposes a deal for cooperation with the Fan Thieves. However, what lies ahead for them as they work together towards their revolutionary goal? So, there's a hack character. I don't know who that is, but okay.
Interesting.
There's some in-game cutscenes, and that's her anime portion. But I think she might, if I'm going based off of previous games and knowledge and whatnot, she might awaken to her own persona in this game, perhaps.
Okay.
Because like, there's just a giant gap here. Like, feels like there's gotta be something here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got the new battle system. This game, which is the first strategy RPG in the Persona series, allows players to form a party with the members of the Fan Thieves of Hearts, including the protagonist Joker and the new character Ellie. The key to the battles lies in the positioning and coordination of both allies and enemies within the party of three. Execute stylish tactics with precision. While introducing a new battle system, the distinctive features of the battles in Persona 5 remain intact. Take cover behind walls for ranged attacks, approach for close range strikes, and of course, utilize the powers of Persona for devastating attacks. Furthermore, landing a critical hit on an enemy that knocks them down triggers a one more, allowing for an extra action. And of course, the beloved all-out attacks is also present. When an enemy is knocked down, the three team members can surround them and unleash the powerful tribangle attack. Not triangle, tribangle.
Tribangle.
Unleash the all-out attack for massive damage and overwhelm your foes in one fell swoop. Seeing more, it looks like that's a cover attack for range. And then
Oh, there's the tribangle.
Tribangle! Let's go!
Yeah.
So all the enemies within that tribangle is gonna get hit.
Now that's neat. I like that.
Yep. There's summoning the Arsene. And then once more,
One more.
getting the enemies down. And then I believe this was shown in the trailer. So like there's an enemy on the top of on an elevated building, and I believe if you hit it and you have a partner that's right underneath it, you can basically do another attack. So
okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Oh, and then
Gotcha,
there's the all-out attack. And then I don't know who these things are, but we're probably gonna know more.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
And then here's the thing that people are a bit upset about: the Day 1 DLC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like Alice. There's just like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Just like, don't do Day 1 DLC, especially story DLC. I mean, the music, I don't mind, but... So, hard sounding guitar sounds. The game's musical concept revolves around a straightforward rock sound with a focus of guitar. Lin Izanami, takes charge of the vocals tracks, including the opening, ending, and battle songs. As for the sound composer, it is none other than Toshiki Konishi from the Alice sound team, who also made an appearance as a guitarist at the Persona Super Live 2022 event. Yeah, that's a concert Alice does from time to time.
Gotcha, okay.
So, soundtrack DLC, okay, I don't mind that. That's alright. But the DLC episode, Repaint Your Heart. For those who have enjoyed the main game, an additional downloadable content episode will be released. This DLC introduces a highly anticipated character available exclusively in this DLC. Not only will players experience a new story, but they can also enjoy thrilling battles with new rules. This DLC can be accessed by purchasing the Deluxe Edition of Persona 5 Tactica Digital Deluxe, or by purchasing the DLC individually. So yeah, Day 1 DLC. Just from this image, looks like that's a rat trying to eat Arsene, or some kind of like rodent.
Something like that, yeah.
So
It looks like that's graffiti as well.
yeah. But
I'll say this: I'm okay with Day 1 DLC, just so long as the DLC actually is a good like expansion upon the base game. Like, if it really adds enough that it almost feels like it's like a whole other game almost added on to the one that you have, I'm okay with that. Day 1, it's like the bit up at the top that they were talking about, like with the music and stuff like that. Like, if it was just that, like Day 1, I'd be a little irked. Because like if you're talking about a DLC, like I'm expecting a little more than just like, oh, you get the privilege of having some more music.
yeah, I'm kind of the ops. Like if you already have plans for a DLC, especially story DLC, Day 1, that just should have been part of the main game.
Just
like,
part of the game.
Yeah, because that you're just deliberately, hey, let's take out this story portion, take it out, and make them pay more for it. Like,
marketing, my dear boy.
I know, but that's just like
how else will they get your money?
By selling the games.
But how else will they get more of your money?
Make it other optional stuff that's not story.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, and what people are presuming that the highly anticipated character is a character named Akechi. So, Akechi, and spoilers for Persona 5 for those who haven't played it. So, Akechi, he's a fan favorite, for better or worse. So he was a party member, and he's also one of the main antagonists for Persona 5. And I like the character, but he is absolutely batshit insane.
Okay. Yep, that explains why people like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the shipping. That's also another thing. So
Yep.
yeah, so most likely the highly anticipated character is Akechi, and it's like, yes, he's back! My crazy boy is back!
Yeah. Yep.
So just like, but how will it relate to this rock sort of character? Who knows, but okay.
Yeah.
But continuing on, first print copy personas. Okay, this is the first time I've seen of it. The first come first serve purchase bonus include DLC that allows players to summon special personas, Orpheus Picaro and Izanagi Picaro, which can be used in the game. This bonus is available for both physical and download version.
Okay.
So basically, these two characters are basically the main personas of the main characters of 3 and 4, but
Gotcha.
alternate colors. And they were also in the main Persona 5 games as DLC as well. So,
Okay.
like, this kind of DLC, I don't mind. It's just like, oh, yeah, just personas that's not really required. So,
Right.
yeah, that's kind of thing. And then we got this trailer, so oh, it's a Japanese version. Oh.
なんだ
おいおいマジでテレビ行かれたんじゃね
Okay, so this version was not in the Xbox, and this beginning portion.
Okay.
ここはどこなんだまるでパレスみたい
何がどうなってんだ奴ら一体何者だ
わからんが襲ってくる以上やるしかねえおいあそこ助けてくれるってのか君たちは心を盗む怪盗でここへ迷い込んだ怪盗団には革命軍が革命軍には怪盗団が
It's all about the
互いに
revolution.
心強い仲間がいることを忘れないでほしいせっかく私の下僕になれたっていうのに反抗的でよく吠えること
Yeah, you were right about the kind of bridal thing. Oh, there's the feudal Japan
手を
thing.
こまねいていてはここで朽ち果てるのみかとこのままじゃダメだって本当は分かってるんだろ
I'm guessing like that is the ring that she was holding.
立ち上がろうよ
Yeah.
ああ行くぞお前ら
So I'm guessing like, oh, whoever wears this ring is now my husband and now evil.
Ah, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, it's still I'm really iffy on it, just because tactics, but hopefully like the story is overall is pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, so like, what's your overall thoughts on P5T?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of in the same camp as yourself. I'm not usually a tactics game type of person. It's just not my cup of tea. Not to say that it's bad inherently.
Yeah.
It's not my cup of tea. It's just that it's just not what I like playing. I like a lot more of like active stuff. However, I will say, apart from the gameplay, I mean, the art is cool. The dynamic UI that they always have is great. I'm liking the stylized kind of chibi form they've got going on here because it's not completely stereotypical chibi. It's actually got like, because like when you go full on like chibi mode, basically, like your characters have tiny little arms and they're basically stumps and stuff like that. But in this, like they actually have like elongated, like very, what's the word am I thinking of?
Appendages.
Yeah, appendages, but like they're also very expressive in a way. They're not just lanky, like they've got a flared into them kind of and stuff like that. So there's a style to it, and it's okay. I think it's pretty cool. It's
Yep.
neat.
Yeah, people kind of compare this like kind of style like similar to the Sky a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I
just
can
slightly.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like it still looks good. I do like the eyes get me. Like the eyes looks really cool.
Right. I do like that. That's neat.
Yeah, seems like might be a fun game. Might be like my
Right.
first time to fully go into the tactics game. Might try out others if this one's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is our little dip in the Persona content. But this episode of the Cathedral Velvet podcast is sponsored by W. W is a clean energy drink that's made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or inks like other energy drinks. There's also no filters or artificial dyes. W contains vitamins like B3, B6, C, amino acids, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W allows you to have faster reaction times paired with laser sharp focus. They have a variety of tubs, shakers, accessories to choose from. If you want to start winning more, they made this for you. Go to the first link in the description below and use code PowerJ at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's PowerJ at checkout to save 10% on your order. Thank you for W for sponsoring this episode. Now back to the show. Now the second biggest thing that came out from the Xbox showcase, but also leaked, unfortunately, was the Persona 3 Reload, which is
Now, I have heard about this, at least from the voice actor side of things, in terms of the English dub.
Yes. So Persona 3 Reload, this is a full-on remake of Persona 3. Well, what do you know about Persona 3 at the very least?
About the actual game of Persona 3, the only thing I know about it is I know the general cast of characters that was in this one. This is the one with oh god, like Mitsuru, I think is her name.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then girl with long red hair that I can't remember.
That's Mitsuru.
Oh, that's Mitsuru. Okay. It was the other gal with the short brown hair.
That's Yukari.
Yeah, Yukari, and isn't like a police detective girl in this one too?
No, that she's actually from Persona 4.
Gotcha. Okay, never mind then. Okay, so that's about all I know.
Alright, so yeah, this is a remake for Persona 3. And people have a little back and forth with this ever since more information about the remake has been released. So, first so with this remake, Persona 3 had multiple versions that came out.
Okay.
There's the original one that came out in 2006, just called Persona 3. I believe a year later, a new version called Persona 3 FES came out, and that version added like a completely new epilogue to the story called The Answer, which focuses on the outcome of Persona 3 and try to tie some loose ends, all that. And it added some a new social link, new events to make it a little bit better.
Okay.
And then in 2011, Persona 3 Portable came out, which is a portable version of Persona 3, but it also had the added social link from FES, but it took out the epilogue of FES, and but they added in a completely new segment or a completely new version of the game where it adds a female character to the story. Well, a female route to the game, so you can play as the guy or the girl. And then the girl version has basically a new set of social links to her.
Oh, okay.
With new soundtrack 2 and a new Velvet Room attendant. So
That's neat.
the remake is focused on the vanilla version of Persona 3.
Okay.
But there's some more news articles about what's supposed to be also in it. They said there's supposed to be some added story content from, like, the main story content from FES is added to this game, but not the epilogue of it. So that's where a lot of people are just like confused on like what's happening to the story and whatnot. So yeah, but well, we'll check out the article here. So if any clarification comes on through here, then yeah, we're good. So during the showcase, Persona 3 Remake, known as Persona 3 Reload, was officially announced after it was leaked earlier. It has a new look by P Studio, and it will be released in early 2024 on the Xbox line as well as PC. So the story. Due to circumstances, the protagonist is transferred to Gekukan High School, located on the artificial island of Port Island in Minato-ku. A few days after moving into the student dormitory, the protagonist is attacked by a mysterious monster. The event causes him to awaken to a power called Persona, which is manifested of his inner self. As a result, he joins a group called the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, or SEES for short, consisting of other Persona users, together with his comrades as they confront the mysteries of the world. At the end of each day, there is a hidden time known as the Dark Hour, which occurs at midnight. During this time, there are enigmatic creatures called shadows. The number of individuals afflicted by the shadows, known as apathy syndrome, increases as they are attacked by these monsters, making them lose their sanity. The Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad continues to engage in battles in order to pursue the mysteries and defeat the shadows. What fate awaits them in their journey. So yeah, that's a special rundown of the main story. So
Gotcha.
they basically do their thing at night. They're students by
Okay.
day, killing monsters by night.
Okay.
And no one knows about it. Only a special few people knows about the Dark Hour.
Okay.
So like there could be some special normal people who might know, but like the Seas people are there just like, yeah, we're gonna take care of them. So we got some screenshots of newly like animated cutscenes for the game. Looks pretty
Okay.
good. Got that's in-game CG cutscenes that's gonna be
Okay.
happening, which I can't wait to see. Just like holy cow, they reanimated this and it looks so great. And him bringing out Orpheus, his persona. So here are some changes. So the graphical system, Persona 3 Reload is compatible with the latest 4K 60 FPS hardware. Oh, thank goodness, yes.
Yes.
The characters, 2D illustrations, 3D models, background UI, etc. have all been beautifully renewed. Gameplay details have been adjusted as well, making the game more user-friendly and functional, including the interface.
Okay.
So yeah. So like with the original P3, it was really static in terms like camera angles and whatnot. But it seems like with the remake you can like it's a fully 3D world, you can see everything, and it looks amazing from like the few scenes that we saw. And
Right.
the battle system looks pretty similar to the original. The only thing that people have a little gripe against is the basically the attacking system here, where like at least with the portable version, it looks like a revolver chamber.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because the whole thing was like, oh yeah, we use guns from our Persona, so it's just like,
Yeah.
but this, a lot of people think it just looks too basic, including me.
Okay.
But, and then we have our little fast travel map on Japanese, but hopefully gets translated soon. Yeah, but like so far, like from the trailer, like it looks absolutely amazing. Like I can't believe it looks so good at the moment.
Yeah, it does look really nice.
Okay, so the story animation. New character side episodes, dialogue, and voice scenes have been added. So new content for the remake, that's pretty good. Beginning with the opening, all the animation in the game have been newly produced. The memorable scenes are now more vivid. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Mhm.
Having like, oh, look at the details. Never before seen details of animation.
Mhm.
Okay, that seems like just getting into the dormitory at the moment.
Mhm.
Okay, and now the voice cast. Alice is revealing an all-new English voice-over cast for numerous characters in the
Mhm.
game. The cast revealed today includes the following voice actors listed in alphabetical order by in-game character name. So, for Argus, we have Don Bennett. Akiko is played by Alejandro Saab. Fuka Yamagishi is played by Susie Young. Junpei is voiced by Zeno Robinson. Ken Amada by Justine Lee. Mitsuru Kirijo by Allegra Clark. Protagonist by Alex Lee. Shinjiro Aragaki by Justice Slocum. And Yukari Takaba by Heather Gonzalez. A lot of people were like, holy cow, this is a great cast list. Like,
Yes, that is an amazing cast list.
like I don't know many of them. Like I do know Zeno and Alejandro.
Alejandro, yeah, I'm familiar with all of these people, although that shouldn't come as a surprise.
Yeah.
I've actually worked with Heather in a class before.
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh man, just like, but as I know for like long time, Persona 3 fans are just like, oh man, this is just gonna be hard to like let go of the old cast, because like especially like the last performance of like the P3 cast was in 2018, so just like,
Mhm.
oh man, it's gonna be hard to like let them go. Just like my babies, they
Mhm.
all grown up.
Yeah.
But like, it's also interesting that that I found out that the Japanese voice cast wasn't changed either. So it's like the still original voice cast for the Japanese, but English is completely changed. Like,
Now
okay,
that it doesn't surprise me on the English front of things. Mostly because there was one character who was played by a certain English voice actor who has been involved in a lot of certain controversy.
I heard other people say something about another voice actor too.
Yes, there is another voice actor as well, but I know everyone probably knows who I'm talking about. I'm just gonna spare you the details on that. You probably know about this at this point. It's been going on for years.
Yeah, like I guess just like, let's just change them all. Just like
Right,
change them all.
exactly. To like freshen things up and what have you. And I mean, like to be quite honest, I mean, like it's when I heard some people talking about this with Persona 3, but when did it originally come out?
2006.
So yeah, it originally came out in 2006. If you like, for anyone who watches English dubs or has seen the English dubs of JRPGs and things like that, but more specifically, I'm referencing English dubs of like anime from around that period, the early 2000s, 90 and late 90s. You know that the dialogue sometimes was kind of stilted and strange, and some like I mean, it's a charm of the era in a way, but directing styles have very, very much changed since then, and it's a lot less. I don't know. A good way to describe it is a lot less hammy and a lot more grounded. So I'd be very interested to see what this is going to sound like, especially with an all-new cast. And believe you me, this is an all-new cast. Like these are some, like I mean, they've been around the block, but these are relatively fresh faces, so to speak.
Yeah, like I know like Alejandro mainly because of Devil Artemis's like Cell versus stuff.
Right.
Being
Yeah.
dang, what was his saying name? Dang, it's a vegetable. I know it. Man, but like he is pretty good. And Zeno, like he's doing basically voice in Ultraman Z, which is like holy cow, that is like very good.
Yeah, and he's also just about in damn near everything now.
Yeah. But like, well, one thing like people were just like, oh man, they couldn't get like Yuri back at least for protagonist. Just like, I guess Spider-Man took took up the space for.
But
this.
also, let's just say this: like Yuri has definitely, like most definitely, given Alex his blessing for this, which honestly is all you can really ask for. Because Yuri, I don't need to tell you guys, but I'll say it anyway, is a fucking powerhouse of a voice actor. He's very good at what he does. He's very established. He's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So for him to give his blessing to someone else's, that's pretty high praise.
Yeah, just I will give these people a chance. I'll be that smug like I will give these people a chance.
I mean, at the very least, in everything that I've seen them in, like in all of the properties that they've been doing, I can tell you right now, these folks are good at what they do.
Yep. So continuing on, but we got big long one, but we'll get through it a bit fast. So we got IGN interviewed the producer Ryota Nitsuma and the director Kazushi Wada, who's confirmed the reload will not feature additional content from FPS or portable. So he says, first, I'd like to mention that since the basic concept of Persona 3 Remake was to remake Persona 3, we don't have the FPS and portable content included. We want to really genuinely work on recreating the Persona 3 experience. So the basic concept of recreating the Persona story was that we want to keep everything from the original version, but update everything to the modern day. So at the same level of Persona 5, basically. So we have the newest graphics, we have updated the system to the newest usability, we have the voice line in both Japanese and English, we also have text available in 13 languages, so you'll be able to have similar experiences to that of Persona 5.
Okay.
So I do have this one tab open up, so I'm not sure if this will be clarifying anything, but I'm guessing from Kyle Lambert 2001. So I think just clarifies that. Okay, so just like thought, no FPS or P3P content doesn't mean everything from those two versions gone. No FPS or P3P quite literally only means no the answer or no FMC. So it's most likely just there will be the exclusive story content that was in those games will be in Reload precisely.
Okay, gotcha.
Just not those two particular things are going to be in it. So
Okay.
Okay, so here we have our main character, so our protagonist, who's our little emo boy. So he previously lived in Minato-kun during his childhood and returns after approximately 10 years. Suddenly reawakens to his persona ability, and he's recruited to Seize. So his first persona he awakens to is Orpheus, but he possesses a unique ability that allows him to possess multiple personas. So our little emo boy with his headphones in, and like you can see like the art style changed a slight bit with the character portraits, which is pretty good. And then in-game cutscene, and then his awakening of his persona, perhaps. That just looks absolutely amazing. No, actually,
yeah, that's really cool.
I think this might be his critical attack, because I see a little of his portrait.
Yeah,
shattering.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Like, bruh, if that's what it looks like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Okay, Yukari Takaba, the second-year student and the protagonist's classmate. She has a bright personality and attractive appearance, which makes her quite popular among the students. Despite her competitiveness and cool demeanor, she's a member of Seize as a Persona user, although has no prior combat experiences. After being attacked by grotesque monsters alongside protagonists, she decides to take a frontline position. She's a member of the archery club and uses a bow in combat, and her unique persona is Io. She excels in wind-based skills and healing abilities. Our girl Yukari, she's adorable. She can be kind of mean sometimes, but that's why we like her. Kind of a scenery, basically.
Okay.
And her little...
Oh, this is perfect then that Heather is playing her. Okay, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, Junpei, you're such an idiot. Gosh.
Yeah, Heather can do this. I already thought she could, but yeah.
And then we have Junpei Iori, classmate of the protagonist in Yukari, wins his persona ability shortly after the transfer, albeit a bit later. He moves to the dormitory and joins C's. He's excellent communication skills and serves as a mood maker within the group. However, he has a tendency to get carried away and is treated coldly by Yukari. In combat, he wields a large sword. His persona is Hermes and utilizes physical attack skills and fire-based abilities. Yeah, he's a fun one. He's your bro, and he's your best friend, but also not your best friend. Well, like in the Persona games, like there's like basically like with your social links, the Magician Arcana is technically your best friend.
Okay.
But like, he's also the Magician archetype, but as a social link, he's not your best friend archetype.
No. It's funny.
Yeah, but like he is like an overall, like he's just a fun character. He's just great, and he gets emotional when it gets to it.
Okay.
And then we have our little trailer here. And check it out once it loads. Come on, give me that 1080. 1080.
That 1080.
I want it to load. Come on, please.
Thinking about it now that you switched the quality.
Do not love me, YouTube? Do not love me showing friends Persona? Okay, how about 720? Is 720 better for you? Okay, how about we go to the actual page?
Sometimes when you reset the quality, it gets really fidgety. Come on.
Come on.
That's giving me.
Do I have to pay you?
Red?
Do I have to pay you?
They're
Come
like,
on.
yeah, do I have to pay you to do this?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Is that it?
I mean, the quality shit, but at least
okay.
it's playing.
Yes, it works out. It's fine.
Oh, and first Persona game in Unreal Engine. I just looks so different. Oh god, you can't see jack with this quality.
I'm discerning outlines.
You know it says 1080-60.
Now that's interesting to me. Oh, okay. Now, I saw that. I saw the UI when it came out in the battle. It still rolls out like a revolver chamber. It actually rolls out like it. It may not look exactly like it once it's out, but it rolls out like it. I saw it do it.
I think I think with the Japanese version might be slightly different.
At least I
Oh
saw
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. See. Did you see it for a second?
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The Japanese version is just slightly different.
Interesting.
Showing
God, this makes me
slightly
go
different
back to
footage
Japan.
compared to the English one. Yeah, the main big area we fight in Persona is Tartarus. So like, the school turns into like a giant tower, and so we're climbing through the school.
Okay.
Yeah, and in like the original Persona 3, it was all flat. It was just randomized, like flat planes. Just like, wow, this is really boring. But it seems like they're adding like at least more verticality with the game.
Right, and it looks like
more
they're adding
detail.
like, oof, the lighting effects on this are nuts.
Yeah, and just like the stylized menu here, just like it just splashes down, just like boom. And then got our mainstays of the Persona series, Igor right here, and Mr. Long Nose, and our attendant here is Elizabeth here.
Gotcha.
That's just Oh. Oh.
So let's see. Is with each different game, are the personas based around like a different kind of like culture and folklore, so to speak? So like in this one, we've definitely got, you know, your
Yeah,
your Greek,
yeah. Greek Roman is 3. With
Yes.
4, it is more Japanese, like
Oh, that's
Izanagi.
right. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, that's right.
And 5 is thieves.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, with
That's
the
neat.
first 2, it's more out there because it's a first starting game. So
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, so like each theme changes up, and man, what was I about to say? But yeah, the game looks absolutely fantastic, bigger, cleaner.
So that's so very interesting to me because, at least when I first encountered Aegis, and again, this is me not knowing much, it was in Persona 4 Arena, so I thought she was from 4.
Oh, she is from 3.
Huh, okay.
She's adorable toaster.
Oh my god. I can't believe it took me so long to freaking connect the dots. Of course she's from freaking 3 because of her name. Like, it's literally Shield.
I guess, and her
Yeah.
persona is Athena.
Okay, yep, and that makes sense also with the shield again.
Yeah, believe Akihiko is not Polydeuces. It's but Mitsu is Prometheus.
Prometheus, okay.
Yeah. Akihiko. Persona. Let me just make sure.
Yeah.
Persona. Show me. Yeah, Polydeuces. Yep, there we go.
Gotcha, okay.
Oh no, his evolved form is Caesar. That's go. Caesar.
Okay.
Yeah, so Persona 3 is all Roman, Greek, all that stuff. And let me just with this game, I really hope they do put the finest amount of details with the whole expansion of whatever side content they said that's gonna be part of it.
Yeah.
And with the additional like voiceover, hopefully the most needed voiceover scenes are done fantastically. Hope they give that good direction.
Oh, I think so. Because, I mean, here's the thing, is that both within JRPG and animation, directors are now more... They tend to ask a lot more for more grounded reads, which is very, very refreshing. To not, just get the stereotypical anime read, because I know, you know what, you love it, but it gets crusty and old pretty quickly, and to hear our JRPG and anime characters sound, a lot more like real people with real emotions, that's very refreshing. So I'm, at least with how the market is trending, I'm hopeful for what the direction is going to be like for this.
And also, like, the game is, I think, if I'm remembering, like, it's taking place 2006. Like each of the Persona games take place on like the year it's like released. So like, oh hey, we're gonna act like we're in 2006. Oh, we're gonna act like we're in 2011, 2026,
Yeah.
16, all that stuff.
Right.
So get in the mindset of being like you were in, how old were you in 2016? I'm 2006. Yeah, act like that. So hopefully all this goes well. Hopefully, this remake does sort of well, and just hope they don't do any scummy DLC practices like, oh hey, here's just excluded stuff that we didn't want to put in the main game. Just
Yeah.
And now with the last main article, we're gonna take a look at the developer interview, and unfortunately with Persona Essential, they I don't know why, just like sometimes they're mobile, they just put up the mobile site just in case. It's like, so it's all just big blob. Let me try to zoom in at least a bit so everything's sort of in frame, and everyone at home is just saying, "Oh no, the magic is gone. You don't. It's not really a set." Oh boy. Just zoom in a bit more. No. Okay, some things are gonna be cut off, unfortunately. But Famitsu has published an article with the development leads, general producer Kazushi Wada, Takuya Yamaguchi, and Ryota Nitsumi. The interview is shorter, except from a full interview, which we published in the Weekly Famitsu. So later this week. Okay. So to complete the complete remake of Persona 3, which has been long awaited by fans, has finally been revealed. As a creator, you must have been excited to make this announcement. Yes, Persona 3 is a very important title for Atlus, and for staff like me who have been involved since the development of the original version. And above all, for the players who love this work and the characters so much. In the Atlus survey we conducted each year, Persona 3 has been at the top of the list for titles that fans want to see remade for the past years. This remake has been realized because of everyone's support. Yeah, Atlus does these surveys like almost like every year, every other year, and Persona 3 was at the top, as well as Persona 2. So, and people really want to see like a remake of Persona 1 and 2, because like essentially, like they don't recognize Persona 1 and 2 at all. Like besides like DLC costumes, like there's just like no word about like Persona 1 and 2, no characters in the games at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and just except for like marketing for like the 25th anniversary, just like, oh, you guys know Persona 1 and 2? Yeah, like look at these marketable plushies of the characters.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was the case when we were reading the first article there, when it was talking about the metaphor, because they're like, from the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5, but not 2 and 1. We don't talk about those.
Yeah, people just like really want Persona 1 and 2 remade. Like there was a remake for the PSP, but it's still very dated in terms of like its gameplay. So like people just like, please give us Persona 1 and 2 remake.
Please.
So like at least, you know, with this past survey, like Persona 2 was tied with number 1 with Persona 3. So they must be working on this after this remake. Just fingers crossed.
So. Fingers crossed, yeah, for sure.
Just please, Atlus, give 1 and 2 fans a chance.
Please. It's like, hey, you're already in the habit of going back and remaking older properties. Why not go for those?
Persona 2 remake? No, let's remake Persona 4 now.
Okay.
And now we're gonna remake Persona 5. Like, you'll never get Persona 1 and 2 remake. Never.
You're getting Persona 4 Platinum now, not Persona 4 Gold.
But continuing on, what are your goals behind this remake? As a basic premise, we didn't change the scenarios or the characters that form the foundation of Persona 3. We would like players to be able to enjoy the graphics and functionality on the levels of the latest number of works in the series, Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. We decided that was the way this remake should be, and followed that stance from the start of development. Okay, so yeah, be on par with Persona 5 and Royal. Okay, good. Okay, make sure like, hey, streamline and everything. Okay, so the largest change in the update to the graphics. Was it difficult to rebuild the original PS2 release with the same level of quality as Persona 5? Yes, for the characters, we put a lot of effort into creating their 3D models and bust up illustrations for conversations at the level that users will come to expect from the current standards. The bust-up are very expressive, and 3D models are so detailed you will want to zoom into the screen and have a look at them. Yeah, they are pretty, pretty expressive, and a lot of people were expecting them to just use the Persona 3 dancing models because they're just like, oh hey, we'll just port them over, but apparently they remade all the models from scratch.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, if I'm able to pull up, let's see, Persona 3 Dancing Yukari, some images, yeah, like the models are like completely different from the dancing game, just in terms of like quality and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they really they really stepped it up.
Yeah, they didn't phone it in or anything like that. They really wholeheartedly went into it being like, yes, this is a true remake.
Good on them. Alright, so the school, towns, and dungeons have been reconstructed in line with 3D models. The field has not simply been enlarged to match the character's proportions, but also to increase the density of the game's elements and scenery. Everything has been redesigned, but Tartarus, the central dungeon that the main characters progress through to reach the top, has gone a particularly significant change in appearance. In addition to changing the visuals, we have added more elements for players to explore to keep them from getting bored, and have added the option to dash whilst moving. Yeah, so just making bigger but also denser. Like, in the original, just like there weren't that many people. There just might be like 5, but now just like, oh look, got a bunch of people walking around.
Yeah, it looks more lived in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. And a thing with Tartarus, the main dungeon, people really hope that they either like really slim down Tartarus, because like the original game, like there's over 250 floors you have to go through. So, and it will really get monotonous. So just like, I wonder how they really changed that so it's not as boring as it was originally.
Yeah.
Okay, so regarding the scenario, it has been said that the character's side stories will be added. Can you elaborate on this? Since the main story is an ensemble drama, I thought there was still room to delve deeper into stories of the characters who didn't get as much attention in the original version. It will be a new element that is different from social links that will deepen the relationship with specific characters. Okay, so something different than social links, but add more character development to the characters. Okay. Yeah, like personally, I think like Persona 3 has done the best with in terms of its like character development.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in 3 and 4, I mean not 3 and 4, 4 and 5, they really tie like the main character stories to the social links. So they don't really affect like the main story at all. Like in Persona 3, like character development continues on throughout the entire story. They're not confined to like their social links. So like and like they're not tied to the main character at all. So they have their own like growth, and hey, the main character doesn't need to be part of it. Like you can grow on your own.
That actually is pretty nice. I like that.
Yeah, and it really feels like with Persona 4 and 5 just feels like, yeah, they have growth, but afterwards just like it doesn't really matter, because like when the character like grows like completely, like their persona evolves, and that shows like basically their growth.
Yeah.
And with Persona 3, since it happens like in the main story, it's basically all canon. But when it's on 4 and 5, it's like kind of non-canon-y sort of thing. So it's just like, yeah, you grow, but just like it's not gonna be part of the story or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. I mean I like that. That's a lot more organic. It's cool.
Yeah. Like you can be your own character without me, okay? You don't need me to hold your hand. Basically.
Right, exactly.
So speaking on of the main story of Persona 3, there was also works called Persona 3 FES, which was based on the original release with various additions and changes. Persona 3 Portable, where you can select the female protagonist. How will Persona 3 Reload be positioned in relation to these? I would like to clear things up so there are no misunderstandings. Persona 3 Reload is a project that was conceived as a remake of the original Persona 3 for current platforms. Therefore, it does not include additional story and scenarios that was added in FES or the female protagonist from Portable. However, this does not mean that elements added to the main story in FES are not included in Reload at all. The remake has substantial volume by including side story mentioned earlier. The total number of voice lines is one of the highest in the series history. The reason for the increase in voices is not just limited to the side stories, but we will be taking about that at a later case. Okay, yeah, so stuff from the main story of FES will be part, or might be part of Reloaded, but
Yeah.
anything else, yeah, not really. It sucks because people really want the female protagonist, because one, there's not that many times in the Persona series where you got the main female protagonist. Just
Gotcha.
if I'm recalling correctly, just one other time, and that was in Persona 2.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Persona 2's second game, so yeah, it's, and people of course want that remake of Persona 2, just like, hey, bring Maya back so we can have another female protagonist again.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I understand, like, you know, they're not doing the female protagonist because it's essentially a whole nother game to that.
Yeah. Based upon what they were just saying about those other like expansion games that you were talking about, FES and the others, about them not like, we wanted to just focus on 3. I get that makes sense to me.
Yeah, just, it would be great to, because people really want just one definitive version of a game of Persona 3, because each game has their pros and cons to it. And people really thought, oh, Reload will be that one definitive version, but it's not. So, just like, do you want FES for the fully 3D world, animated cutscenes, epilogue, or do you want Portable, which has the female protagonist, different social links, added different music, but minus the 3D overworld and animated cutscenes? So just like pick and choose. So
Right.
yeah, but I'm on, like, I don't mind that she's not there. Would it be good that she was there? Yeah, but I don't mind. Like, I did play the female side. She's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. But at the end, she's like, oh well, can't really do much.
Yeah.
But also, people also are assuming, like, oh man, what if Alice does a Persona 4 Gold and a Royal thing, and just like, yep, we're gonna release an enhanced version of Persona 3 Reload, and it'll have the female protagonist in it, and also the epilogue too, which is like,
I mean, considering the track record I'm starting to see, I would not be surprised.
but this is also Alice's, like, first full remake of a game, so just like, that will also mean, like, they would have to remake a whole nother part of the game as well, too, with that. That's big iffy.
Right.
Yeah. But if they do it, who knows? Who knows if they'll do it? But
Right.
they really got put up Persona 6. It's because that is on their, like, it was said that Persona 6 was in development for a long while, so well, they want to, like, try to, like, put that in as well as Persona 6. It's just who knows? Because that's still be a lot of work.
Who knows?
But I think that is all for all the news for this past weekend, because that was just a huge reveal at the Xbox conference. So
Yeah.
yeah, oh boy. Let me put that stage back. There we go. You guys haven't seen nothing. You seen nothing.
Yeah.
This portion of the podcast is sponsored by you, the patrons on patreon.com/CavePodcast. With as low as $3 a month, you can support me and the podcast with benefits such as exclusive posts, early access to the podcast, no in-video ads, your name scrolling in the video, and much more. So please consider supporting your boy over at patreon.com/CavePodcast. And now back to the show. Oh boy. Persona 3, Persona 5, Persona... not Persona, Metaphor, those are
Yep.
major stuff.
Entirely new. Yeah.
So, from this, what have you taken from Persona?
What I have taken from it is that it's got a lot of, at least for not going too in depth into the stories. It's got a lot of nice stylistic what's the word? Nice stylistic references that it likes to take from, and I'm glad that they don't stick with just one thing every single time, because it's quite like with 3, obviously you have a bunch of personas that are named after like Greek and Roman mythology, and to be quite honest, they could have just stuck with that and they could have gone with that like through the other series, but they decide to change the theme every single game, which is nice. I like that.
Yeah, and each like theming of the games are like kind of different. Like Persona 3, it's about death and like how to like I remember that you always die. So like with 4, it's basically uncover the truth about whatever is in life, yourself, meaning. And 5 is just like release your shackles, don't be confined by society and that.
Which is really nice. I very much like that it's a video game with an underlying like poignant message like that. Not to say that there is anything wrong with video games that are just a fun time that don't really have like a poignant or like profound message, but I mean this is really cool that they do that. There was a lot of things that they're incorporating here that just make it I don't know, an art piece. I would say it's a very artistic game, which is nice. And I mean, obviously, other people think so too. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such a rabid fan base for it that continues to love this shit as it comes out every single time. I do like the concept of like, from what you've shown me, like what these designs of what the demons and the enemies look like it's very inspired, let's just say. Like I haven't really seen enemies like that before. They're very strange and otherworldly, but yet they kind of bring to the front like what like negative aspects of life or personalities they are attributed to, and it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, like each game like the personas, like they're all like based off like different like religious or just like religious figures or mythology. You got like Jack Frost is one, Jack-o'-lantern is like just a jack-o'-lantern.
Right.
Shiva, Ganesh, Alice from Alice in Wonderland, like a whole bunch of just fictional or mythological beings is what like Persona goes with, and Shin Megami Tensei in general.
Yeah.
But what were parts of like Persona or like SMT, like, do you want to know more about that I can like try to tell you?
In terms of things that I'd like to know more about, so, I've kind of asked this question before to other people, but I'd like to hear what your answer is to this. So, what is there really a concrete connection between all of the games, or is it very much like a vignette kind of style of like the loose thread that ties these things together is the concept of personas and what have you, but it's a different cast of characters with a different set of circumstances and different times.
So, like the Persona games, they all take in one world. Like it's like time continues on with everyone. Like so, but the main connection is like there is a character named Philemon, and he is like kind of like the mainstay in the series, as well as Igor, and like basically he watches over everything in making sure like everything goes right, and making sure like his opposite like doesn't really interfere. Like he appears like pose his like Persona 2 as like a blue butterfly, and you'll
Okay.
see him like in Persona 4, for example. He's like a blue butterfly is like a save point, so like he's always there. Persona 5, it's a little iffy with Persona 5 because a character is also a butterfly, but it's also representative of Philemon himself. But like
Okay.
all of it is just all one timeline, is all connected, just like Persona 3 taking place 2006, Persona 4 2011, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5 2016. So like, and they all reference back to each other in some way or another.
Okay, so that's actually very interesting. So, do the games, just based off of what you said, do the games actually like occur in like the year and time that they come out?
Yes. The only
That's
exception would be Persona 5, because it was initially supposed to release in, I believe, 2015, but then it was it was supposed to release 2014, and then it was delayed into 2015 because they also got a PS4 version. It was initially PS3, and then the next final set release was 2016. But they set the year as 20XX, so they don't like, oh no, this was supposed to release in 2015, but no.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what they did there. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so
Well, that actually is really cool because you don't, at least, well, maybe my recollection is bad, but like, you don't see that very often in video games where they like are pertaining to the time in which they actually come out in real world time.
that takes a lot of planning, making sure like things goes right.
Right, exactly, because like let's just say like you decided to like put some sort of like a catastrophic event or like a national or like a worldwide tragedy in there or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, that's actually in bad taste. Like you've really got to keep your eye on the ball when you're doing that kind of stuff.
And that's why, like, at the start of every Persona game is like, this game is a work of fiction. Anything that happens in this game is purely coincidental.
Right, yeah. These aren't real people, we swear. Okay. Let's see if I have any other questions. So you kind of suggested this, but so is Igor kind of antagonistic, whereas Philemon is more the benevolent side of that coin?
No, Igor is basically a servant under Philemon. Igor helps out the protagonist. Just like he's he's the owner of the Velvet Room when Philemon isn't there.
Okay.
So like he helps you fuse your personas, he keeps your personas, and gives you some advice when it needs to be.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
he kind of sees what's happening. She's like, oh, I see you're in a sort of predicament. Oh man, let me give you this word of advice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so it's like, so what is the kind of role, I guess, of the Velvet Room and Igor and the assistants and Philemon and all that? Because I mean, you said like, so Philemon's like benevolent in a way, but it doesn't sound like, it's almost like benevolent in almost an ambivalent kind of way. Like it's more like, I'll give you some advice to like lead you on, but like fate is ultimately in your own hands.
Yeah. So the Velvet Room is based off of whoever is like the host, or like the person is like the person who is there at the moment. It
Gotcha.
changes. So
Okay.
with Persona 3, the Velvet Room is an elevator, and it's going up, but we don't know when it'll stop. Persona 4 is a limo, where just driving into a fog, and it'll stop once we get to the destination that the protagonist needs to be.
Okay.
And Persona 5 is of a jail. Now that is a jail for basically two reasons. One is that because the protagonist, he was convicted of a crime that he didn't do, so he's still feeling
Okay.
guilty. But also, Igor in that game is not really Igor. It was someone who basically, he captures Igor and then takes him and takes up his role as basically like the jailer. And like Igor in every other games, he just goes, "Welcome to the Velvet Room." Where in Persona 5, he goes, "Welcome to my Velvet Room."
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And
Alright.
what's funny is that like, well, funny but also not funny, that the Japanese voice of Igor passed previously before the release of Persona 5, so they
Okay.
changed up his voice, and they play that to the story because that wasn't the fake Igor. They can just change his voice.
Right.
Just like, because oh well, they need to get a new voice actor. So then when that fake Igor is gone, the real Igor appears. Oh, it sounds similar to the original Igor. Like, ah.
Right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's a cool little way to do that, I guess. Huh. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, now from what I do know, from what you've told me from 3 and from what I know of 4, is the concept of stuff happening at midnight or at night like a very important thing, because I know you said in 3 like a certain hour, like it's the dark hour in 3. And then in 4, I know that there's the midnight channel. Is that a thing that pervades like all the other installations as well?
No, that with 3, that is really connected to the main story with Tartarus. So that is, the dark hour is connected to Tartarus, so that happens. While as the midnight channel in Persona 4, that is not related to that is also related to the story, but not related to like the nighttime. It's just like, oh, coincidentally midnight. Oh, okay.
Ah, okay, so it just happened that it did. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like Persona 4, like you go into the TV world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen like middle of the day.
Okay. Okay. Then I guess my other thing is that, so the personas tend to follow a general like theme of like mythology and what have you in other cultures.
Yeah, like on
Does
screen, like I'm screen sharing too. Like these are like different personas that you can get, like Alice, there, Anubis.
Okay.
Forgot his name, but he's a difficult one. Archangel, Bicorn, Black Frost. This is called Bugs. It's just a teddy bear.
Yeah.
I think this is by Who, and like just a bunch of not Cerberus. Dang, forgot his name, but yeah, a bunch of different related to like religion, mythological. I believe this is Gabriel.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm showing images of like a censored version because this is for Chinese. This is a Hellbiker. He's supposed to have like a skull.
Yeah.
High Pixie. I believe that was Horus, Phoenix, Wapo. I hate how the Chinese is done to this game. No. So this is Incubus. He's supposed to have no pants and a giant dick. Just
well, that makes sense because I mean he's an incubus. It's the male form of succubus. Yeah, makes sense.
No dick. Why do
Oh
they
my
hate the
God.
dick?
Why did they take it away?
Yeah, Inugami. Forgot her name. Jack Frost, basically the mascot of Atlas.
Okay.
Garuda. Forgot your name. King Frost. One of the Sisters of Fate.
Okay.
Forgot you. You're, I know, based off a Chinese legend. Forgot you. Another Sister of Fate.
Mhm. looks like
Lita
Nyx.
Saihi, I believe her name is.
That almost looks like Nyx from freaking what is it, Hades? The design is similar.
Yeah, so they take inspirations from all over the world and make their own creation of it. Neko Shogun.
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Samurai. Norn, like Three Sisters of Fate. It's just a whole bunch of inspirations, and they do pretty good with their work. Oh,
Okay.
Pazuzu, Lamia,
Yeah.
Pirate Jack, or Jack Lantern now.
Okay.
I believe this is supposed to be a Lamia, I believe. But they put Jack underneath her while she's wearing a jacket.
Wait. So it's a that's a Lamia? Like usually
No,
Lamia are the serpent.
no.
I was gonna say that's the serpent people.
No, Lilith.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Now that makes much more sense.
Sandalphon, I believe.
Okay.
Bearth, I believe. Oh, this is a succubus. They just put on more black skin on.
Right, of course, yeah.
I believe this is supposed to be a Kodama. Phoenix, Thor.
Okay.
Titania, Unicorn. This is a horse. This isn't Shiva, but related to Shiva. Dang it.
Like Vishnu?
Yeah, yes, Vishnu.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
This is Orochi, and let's see. Yamada, no, this is Yoshitsune.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's
Yeah, they have if they have Yoshitsune in there, I bet you they have freaking like Nobunaga in there, don't they?
unfortunately no Nobunaga.
Really? Wow! Color me surprised.
Yeah, just they can't take everything, but they can take most things.
Then again, Nobunaga is an overused person, so like, there's that.
Yeah, so they take inspiration from a whole bunch, and
Okay.
so some things are redesigned a bit depending on the game.
Right. Right.
So some major overhauls, some just slight
Yeah.
tweaks.
Okay. It's all very cool. I do like this a lot. It's a lot more extensive than I gave it credit for sure.
Yeah, like in each Persona games, they actually give like a little backstory for like each of the of the actual characters and whatnot, like for each like mythology or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think is there? I think there was a chupacabra like demon. I think in one of the games. It was like,
Okay.
oh, yeah, like anything else you want to try to know about?
Well, the my initial question about the mythology thing is going to be like, so of course in 3 we've got Tartarus, which is again the kind of, you know, Roman Greek kind of hell, so to speak. Does that kind of concept bleed over into the other games? Like, is there alter realm that they end up going into named aptly with the mythology that they're sticking with that time?
Oh, mm, with 5, there's the palaces. That's like the main thing that you go through. But then there's a side area which is also part of the main game called Mementos, which is
Okay.
like the unconscious seas of everyone's thoughts, basically.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So it and basically like kind of relates to like how everyone's just like they kind of all just want to be like, oh, I don't want to do this, let someone else do it for me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which relates back to the theme, just like, oh, you are a slave, you want emancipation, be free.
Yeah. You're right. Okay.
And then Persona 4, it's the whole thing is like a fog surrounding the town, and just like I guess it relates like, oh, get through the fog, reveal the truth of everything. So
Yeah.
the whole thing's just like wants to cover the whole world in fog and just be stuck there.
Okay. So more or less, that's interesting. So I guess it's not so much that their little altar realms in any given one of these games are hell per se. It's more so it's like they're more like limbo, so to speak. It wouldn't be so apt to call them hell because that's just straight torture all the way through. It's more of like it's a realm made out of indecision and unresolved things.
Yeah, that would be a good, sort of explanation for that. With like Persona 5, that's part of the Mementos, but like the big things like the palaces, where it's just like these are like the big people's like true feelings. Like one guy's just like who was a gym teacher and coach for the school, and just like he thinks himself as a king, so his palace is of like a castle, and he's the king of that castle, and he just like treats everyone like they're like slaves, and just like so like that's one thing, just like being
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Is it actually reminds me a bit about... So, have you ever heard of or watched, so are you familiar with Satoshi Kon?
yes.
Okay, so like Paprika and all of that. So there is a particular, series that he did a while ago
Paranoia
that was
Agent?
called... Yes! That's exactly what this makes me think of in a way. Especially the whole unresolved kind of thing, like, because it's like, oh yeah, the gym teacher thinks of himself like a king and stuff like that, but it's not so much that, like, from the very beginning, well, I'm gonna guess that it's not so much from the very beginning that he thinks he's like king shit and he's just like a narcissist and is like awful. It's more or less like he's the gym teacher. He's kind of the low rung on the totem pole, and his unvoiced opinions kind of turn into, well, like, fuck those guys. Like, I'm actually better than everyone. Like, what have you. And it's just kind of a thing he keeps to himself, and his own negative opinions end up, like, bleeding into this, like, unhealthy ideology that, well, we only really get to see manifest in, like, the negative realm, so to speak.
Well, actually, no. Like, the gym teacher, he's, I believe it was said, like, he's, like, an Olympic athlete. And
okay.
And that, like, he brings, like, the sports team, like, to finals and whatnot. But the thing is, he abuses, like, the students. And if it's ever found out, like, oh, he's like doing all these bad things, like he'll get in trouble, and like the school won't be as good. So like he essentially like blackmails the parents as well, just like, hey, just like y'all don't say anything, and I'll keep bringing the school to good things, basically.
Okay, so that makes sense now. Okay, I see. Okay, so it's not exactly like that, but okay. Wow. Yeah, because for a second there, I was just like, this could really go down the lane of paranoia agent of unvoiced negative feelings left to fester can just turn into just something completely different and much more awful.
Yeah, but like, it's also showed that like, in his like palace, just like, he is kind of like a wimp, because he's just like, yo, minions, dude, finish them off, while he just runs away.
Right, he's just resting on his, like, so to speak, laurels, pun intended, of, like, I was an Olympic athlete once, so, like, I'm gonna lord that over you forever, like, kind of thing. Like, I don't actually have to do anything because you already know I'm the best.
Yeah, like, he is, like, he literally looks like he is, like, good in physical shape, just like, yeah, do the thing, or else, I'm gonna leave this place.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's really interesting.
Yeah, but like the things continues on, like with each palace, like a guy who takes in like a people's son, and just like basically uses his work as his own, basically plagiarizes, and it's like, oh yes, this is my work. I'm gonna make millions off of your work, and you can't do anything about it.
Right.
And also, by the way, I killed your mother.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous. Oh. This is... Okay, so another question I have to ask, which is the very base, the absolute base of questions. And again, I've asked this question before, but I want to hear what your answer is to it. Is there any particular order that I have to play these games in? Or can I really just, like, start with any of them?
You can start with any of them. Like, each game is their own individual game. Like, there might be some little bit, like, callbacks or reference that doesn't matter at all, but, like, you can play them in any order. But, like, my recommendation... I recommend start with like the earlier one because just like the gameplay is like still kind of old and whatnot, and then as you continue on, like, oh, the gameplay improves until you get like to the newest one.
Right.
Or you can go backwards if you like. That's fine as well.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
How accessible are 1 and 2?
Okay, so bad news. They're still stuck on...
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
So, if you want to play 1, you can either play on PSP as the sort of remake version, or Vita if you have that.
Yeah.
I think you can, if you still have your PS3, you can play the digital version of that.
Okay.
And if you have the PS1 version, there's that.
Okay.
Or that PlayStation Classic they released long time ago. But I do not recommend the PS1 version, because that's just like, it is all basically like for kids censored whatnot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, there's literally like a character there, and like the when there was a release in America, just like, yeah, let's make them black. Just like, okay, why?
Just cause. Okay.
Yeah. With Persona 2, that is the hardest one because Persona 2 is 2 games. Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment.
Okay.
Innocent Sin is available on PSN, on PS3, or PS3, PSP, Vita, digitally.
Gotcha.
So that's the
Okay.
original PS1 version.
Okay.
The the PSP version available on PSP and Vita.
Uh-huh.
And there's Eternal Punishment. That's the second half of the Persona 2 games. Only available as of the West on PS1 digitally.
Gotcha.
On PS3, Vita, PSP. There was a PSP version of Eternal Punishment, but it was never made to the West. I was still stuck in Japan.
Gotcha.
So you
Okay.
can do that other way,
Right.
Yar.
Yes. Yardy har. Yes.
and patch that with English.
Yes.
And yeah, while the rest 3 FES is basically the only one that's on like digital PS3. You
Okay.
can't get like the vanilla version, which why would you?
All right.
And then portable, which just got remastered, Kocour remastered earlier this year, so it's on basically every console.
Mm-hmm.
You can play vanilla Persona 4 on PS3,
Mm-hmm.
or you can go with the better version with Golden, which is on
Okay.
every console now.
Yeah.
And then Persona 5, best get Royal because it's on every console now.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, that's nice. I mean, I since I already have, I can't even remember how or why I got Golden. I think it was like just like on sale for like dirt cheap at the time, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that because, I want to play the game that like Aaron's in or what have you. Because that's the funniest thing is that I didn't actually come to know Aaron from being Chie, and that's not how we came to know each other. Funny enough, that was actually through Hyperdimension Neptunia, which it's hilarious because she was originally Noir. But oh my god, yeah, I gotta just pick it up. I gotta just do the dang thing and pick the damn thing up. I've got it. I have it installed. I just need to play it.
I mean, if you play like the most recent ports, they do have like other I think like added bonuses, like
Okay.
options to that wasn't like the original release.
Okay.
And I think like it's also on sale right now on like eShop, I think. So if you have it on Switch, you can grab it there.
Okay.
And it's regularly on sale on Steam too. So
Okay.
yeah, Alice was really trying to more Persona 3, 4, 5 for everyone. Except Persona 1, 2. No, we forget about those.
Yeah. We don't. They don't need to see that. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I think at least that's all the things that I can think of for now.
Yeah, oh, I do want to tell you this just wild thing, like, you haven't paid attention to, like, the 25th anniversary of Persona at all, have you?
No.
Okay. So, there's just, like, it's just, like, this wild event that's happened, like, it's an 1 year, like, sort of thing. They just, like, hey, every few months we're gonna announce something, and people are just, like, they had this like picture / postcard set where they had like basically like pictures of each of the main titles, like a game cover, and each of the main characters of those games. So like Persona 1 picture, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there were these 2 mysterious pictures at the end.
Okay.
I want you to assume, what would you think based off all the pictures being, it's main characters of the first game of each of the games and the game covers? What do you think those 2 pictures might be?
Well, I'm assuming that if they're mysterious characters and it's all protagonists, like that's kind of Atlas being like a hint, hint, wink, wink. We've got 2 other Persona properties in the wings.
Huh, you think so, would they?
Yes.
So, like, they had, like, this live stream, and they had, like, this lady of, like, Alice, I think, and she saw, like, the pictures, and she was like, no way!
Yeah.
So when they revealed it, what the pictures were, it was just, it was just old promos of previous stuff, previous games.
No. Why would you do that?
Like,
Why would you do that?
like,
I don't get that. Why?
just like
God.
all this hype, it was just like old promo pitched. Why?
No. Like when even the person at the event is like, holy shit, it's gonna be new franchise or it's gonna be new entries. You know that you're like, oops, I think we did this wrong.
Yeah, and now a few 2 months or so before like the end of like the whole 25th anniversary event, they announced the ports of like 3, 4, 5 for modern consoles, and like near the tail end, they have like a Persona 5 or Persona concert, celebrating the whole series, playing music from all the series, and at almost like 100% of the time, like they like announced something new there, right?
Right.
What they decide to announce is just the release date of the ports. No new games. Just like, we already knew the ports were coming. We don't need the concert to announce the release date of these ports.
Yeah.
Like the previous concert before this last one, like they announced the Persona 5 Royal, which like, holy cow, who is this new character? Holy cow, Persona 5 Royal, what is this?
Yeah.
So it's just like, how could you end off an anniversary event with just the announcements of the release date of games we already knew was coming?
Yeah. Oh my god. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and just like, each time it's just like, Alice pulled an Atlas.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh
Like,
goodness
people
gracious.
just like, yep, our expectations gonna be like nothing next time. But like,
Just start shouting at them at the start. It's just like, is it more promotional material?
yes, that like,
Is it real this time?
yeah, and like with like they had like they have this giant like artwork of like all the 5 protagonists, well 6 protagonists because Persona 2 was split in 2, and just like they're all together on the wall with like graffiti, and just like, and then there's just a paint can with the color green. None of the other Persona games has green in it, so we was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, Persona 6 is gonna be green. This is our hint. This is our hint right here.
Yeah.
And then nothing, absolutely nothing. Nothing came from that.
And they're just like, it's just green. Deal with it.
Like, it was in the right position. It was right next to Persona 5 protagonist. It means Persona 6 green is gonna show up.
And they're just like, nope, means nothing.
How could you do this?
That's funny.
Oh man. But like, any last questions you want to like try to give, and I shall try to answer.
I think. Yeah, I think I've exhausted my questions.
All right.
For now.
And what games are you most likely interested to play first?
I'm definitely gonna do 4 Golden because I already have it, and because it has Aaron in it, and The end all be all of the reason why. 3. This new remake of 3, I may just give that a good old-fashioned try, if I do like 4 Golden enough, because I mean, if anything, I just want to see how this new cast does it, because, I mean, I'm a voice actor. I want to see how my peers are doing. Like, I want to see how they do, what the market's like, you know, the whole thing. I want to see that.
And then 5 last, or was that?
Oh yeah, I guess. I guess. I mean, like, 5 had it, like, it's weird. Like, 5 kind of, like, hits the back burner in my head, but, like, the only reason being because, like, when I came to know what Persona 4 was, like, just even, like, a cursory amount, like, the kind of fan craze over it had kind of subsided, and then it was Persona 5, and all I ever heard about, and I still kind of hear about, is Persona 5, like, over and over and over and over. And, like, it's one of those things where, like, your brain kind of, like, sidelines it, and it's like, I'm not paying attention to that anymore, because it's just, like, everything you hear about 24/7. Not to say that it isn't a good game, it's literally just that, like, that's all I hear about all the time. And I want to check out the shit that, like, not everybody else is looking at the time.
Are you the hips like, oh my god, so popular, I'm not into it?
See, I mean, yeah, kind of. Like, yeah, yes and no, yes and no. Here's the thing. It's like, I don't do it to be like the guy who's just like, I did it before it was cool. Like, you just don't understand my niche interest, bro. Like, no.
Whoosh.
Yeah. It's not that. It's not just like, I had the exclusive rights of enjoying this shit. Like, no. It's not that. It's literally just like, when something, like, has such a media presence that it's, like, super inundated, if I see something enough and I hear something enough, it just starts to become annoying.
Yeah, no, I go like that.
Even if it isn't, it just becomes annoying because I see it all the fucking time, and I'm just like, I want to do something else.
Yeah, that happens to me sometimes. Just like, okay, cool, every once in a while. Okay, but now you're hearing more and more and more. Okay, you can stop. You can stop now. I'm tired of hearing it.
Right. And especially when, like, and this is my own damn fault, but I mean, like, when my principal platform that I operate on and go around at is Twitter, like, basically whatever's trending is whatever dominates your feed, whether you like it or not. And so, like, whether I'm following anybody who's directly related to Persona 5 or anything, like, my entire feed becomes Persona 5 when people are all freaking out about it. So, just like right now, like, Persona 3 is blowing up like crazy on my feed because of the English cast announcement and, you know, that whole thing. So, but yeah, it's not like, oh, I want to be the guy who's liking the thing that nobody else likes, and I want to be the cool dude, like, that sees it in my own niche way or what. No, it's literally just like, I need some time for that to calm down, and I will take myself to the older franchises where I can, you know, enjoy this thing without, like, a fandom, like, spamming me shit, like, 24/7, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like, I had a similar time with, like, Yakuza, because, like, people was like, oh my god, Yakuza, like, so I was like, okay, I'll let it slide down. I picked up 0, which feels like, yeah, that's a good starting point. Like, yeah, it's alright. Then, like, later on, like, Yakuza 7, it's just like, okay, I'll try that. It has English dub. Oh, cool, I can fully enjoy it. It's like, oh my god, yes, Yakuza, I love it, Yakuza.
Yeah. There's a certain critical mass you can reach with a franchise where, like, you don't even care if people are, like, fanning over it anymore, and I understand that because I do get to that point. It's just that, of course, I don't know a ton about this franchise, so I'm not anywhere near being that critical mass of fandom to be like, okay, I don't care whether or not it's, like, popular or not, because it's like, I don't know, video games always, to me, like, even when I was younger and even to this day, with a very rare exception, like, I didn't used to almost ever play multiplayer games, like, unless they were, like, couch co-op, because, like, I don't know, playing video games is such a personal experience to me, and like getting to like it's like reading a book, you know. You don't want like someone like a group of people who are a fan of the book like yelling shit in the background, like, "Oh my god, it's fucking like while you're reading the book for the first time. It's kind of like that. So like, yeah, yeah. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, just like if you need any help about those games, just let me know. I'll try to give you some pointers. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can. I'll definitely reach out and ask about it. So.
Yeah. Also, I show on screen just like the promo images that Alice put out. Just like
Yep.
like you have that.
It's a green.
Yeah, all protagonists here got that empty slot right there. It just fits them right there. And
Right.
even like the shadow is just
like the silhouette and stuff. Like I see, the thing is like in any other circumstance, I'd be like, oh man, like people are just overreacting over that. They're reading way too deeply into this and shit like that. But like when you make a video game whose whole concept is deeper meaning and stylistic and artistic, like definitive stylistic and artistic choices, like that's I get why people would be like, oh yeah, that big open space. It's gotta be another game.
yeah, just it stresses me out, man. It stresses me out.
Right. Exactly. It's like, I gotta put this undue stress on me.
Oh, but oh man, we've been going at this for 2 hours. Oh man, we got to cut it here.
Yes.
Oh, but Drew, thank you very much for joining me on this wild, wacky adventure of Witch's Persona.
Yes. I'm excited to potentially be looking into this. I mean, I just finished up dedicating most of my life and every single day of it to Tears of the Kingdom, so I've got some open space. Got some open slots for something else.
Let's see which other game will spend 50 plus hours of my life in.
No kidding.
But again, thank you very much for joining. You are welcome anytime you like.
Thank you.
Is there any socials you want to plug? Please do it now. The floor is yours.
Sure. So you will be able to find my primary account on Twitter, just like I was talking about, under Dreg the Otaku. That is all one word, no caps or anything. It is DREGTHEOTAKU, and that's on Twitter. Again, that's principally what I use. You'll be able to find my voice actor email from there, which you can reach out to me for any sorts of my rates or what have you, if you're interested in putting me in a project or what have you. And if you're just kind of tapping me for talent, I've also got my demo reel pinned as my pinned tweet, so you can go ahead and check me out there.
All right. And no YouTube at all? I can just tag you right in the title.
I have a YouTube, but I don't really use it. Twitter's pretty much what I use.
All right. So, again, thank you, Drew, for being part of this. And thank you guys for watching or listening if you're on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, whatever those. And thank you to the lovely patrons floating on the screen right now. Ooh, look these lovely patrons. Hopefully you guys, if you guys do want your names to be up on the Patreon list here, go to the Patreon links down in the description. And as with that, I am Paradusha, your host of the Cathedral of Velvet as always, and I will see you guys soon with the next episode. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye-bye.